Today's true scary story is about the severe demon attachment that the Native American girl had named Melanie throughout her entire life. So we're fast forwarding a couple years now to when she's 18 years old, and this is a couple years after she saw that demon in the window that had its face pressed against the window. Unfortunately, she had been dealing with depression ever since this face in the window thing happened because it really affected her. It scared her more than anything else did. But at this point, her and her mom are going back to Tuscan to visit her grandmother at the same house that she had seen the demon in the first place. She's in the house, her mother is in the shower, and she is in the den chatting with some friends on Skype. It's about 9 or 10 at night, and the den light is off, but the light from the living room is shining into the den. She's just talking, have a normal conversation on Skype, when all of a sudden everything gets cold, the temperature drops, and she feels this feeling on the back of her neck, and she immediately knows that something is behind her. Now behind her are the same sliding glass doors that she saw the creature in the very beginning. So she slowly shuts her laptop after she tells her friends calmly that she has to go, and then she slowly turns around and looks behind her at the door. It's a black figure, at least 10 feet tall, and it had to crouch to look at her. Its skin was pitch black and like tar covered, and it was matte but also shiny at the same time. Its skin was taut like a mummy, and its arms were so long that its knuckles were just dragging on the floor. The head and face resembled an ape, but with extremely pointy ears and sharp teeth. Its eyes red like a blood-covered sun, when all of a sudden it slowly starts to reach its hand out towards her. Its fingers are like 10 feet long and they come to a point. Now she's standing there absolutely frozen, and then she realizes that she's frozen and that she's not moving and that she has to get the out of there. So she calmly walks away and she goes and hides next to the same writing desk that she had hid 10 to 12 years earlier. Now she sat there for a while until her mother finally comes out and sees that she's sitting next to the same writing desk she was sitting at before, terrified. Her mother calmly asks her, "Hey, what's going on?" And she's like, "This is what just happened. This is what just happened to me." And her mother slowly goes over to the door. She looks outside, she shuts the blinds, and then she walks back over to her and she calmly speaks to her. Melanie didn't even realize that there was tears pouring out of her eyes. She had been so terrified she didn't even realize she was crying. Now her mom's like, "Why don't you just go lay down on the couch and relax?" She said that she did relax and that she didn't see this thing until a week later when she was in Arkansas. Now her brother, his name is JC, and he is a demonologist. He was ordained by the church. He prayed over her, he smudged her, and he cleansed her, and he also let her know that he had done some research. From what she had told him in the description that she had given him about what she had been seeing, he confirmed that it was in fact a demon. Now JC stayed with her all night because she could not sleep, and he sat up with her all night long, and he just cleansed the whole entire house and prayed over it. She did not see that thing until 5 years later when she moved in with her now husband in a house in Texas, and this time it would try to hurt her. The house that they moved in was in Fort Worth, Texas, and they had actually done research on the house to make sure that nothing bad had ever happened in the house, and there was nothing bad that had happened in the house. So one night she is at home alone because her husband got a job and he had to travel for work, so she had to go get something out of the garage. She doesn't remember what it was, but she went to go get it, and she got halfway there when she sees in the corner of her eyes a black mist form, and then she looks over and she sees that the mist has red eyes, and her heart sinks. Looks at it again and she immediately realizes that it is the creature from Tuscan. It looks at her with this pointy teeth and this Chester-like smile, when all of a sudden it just bum rushes her. She spins on her heel, she runs back to the door, and she goes to slam the door, and the thing just bangs against the door, and she's trying to shut it and it's moving it like 3 inches. She finally gets it shut. She then screams, "You are not welcome here. I command you to leave this place and never return." Then just laughs this blood-chilling cackle. And then it just vanishes, and then she immediately grabs holy water, sage, anything she can find, and she just cleanses the house. She then calls her husband because she's terrified, and her husband doesn't really believe in this stuff, but he has had some unexplained things happen in this home, so he's very supportive anyway. So he just tells her, "Everything's gonna be okay. I'm gonna be home soon. You are going to be okay." She says that she now sees shadow figures out of the corner of her eye. She hears knocking and she feels watched constantly. The knocking that she hears is all over the walls and ceiling, and she has sleep paralysis a lot, but she has not seen that creature ever since that day. Thank God. She says that she has dreams and feelings about things and that she's been dealing with this for 25 years, but she has figured out a way to cope with this. She knows how to bless her home and keep her family safe, and that is super important. She also says that since her daughter has been born, the knocking and the feelings of being watched and the presence of that has increased, but it doesn't feel malevolent to her. And she constantly sages and cleanses her home monthly. So I think her home is protected. I think she's kind of got it figured out, hopefully. But this was a terrifying story, you guys. Like, she really went through hell for years, and it even put her in a depressive state, which I can totally understand. But what do you guys think about this? Like, what do you think this was? It's really scary to know that someone had a demon attachment their whole entire life and that they've just had to cope with it. They've had to figure out how to do things themselves. And that's really sad and scary. So if you guys have any questions for her, she will be in the comments. Feel free to ask any questions, leave any comment. Also, if you guys have any true scary stories that you want me to recount on here and my other platforms, then my email is in my description. It is kaisespooky@gmail.com. So send me your stories, guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. I love you so, so much. Thank you so much for watching my channel, for supporting me. I'll say it every single time, but one more thing, and what is that? Have a spooky night. I love you guys. See you in the next one.